My two favorite video games are Minecraft and Pokemon. So I am so excited to work with the Pixelmon Realm server to bring you 100 days in Pixelmon. My 3 goals in these 100 days were to get my whole team to level 100, build a Pokélab as my base, and defeat my rival in a Pokemon battle. Here's the start of my Pokemon journey. Day 1, I chose the Sapphire world and the Pokemon starter that got me through the Elite Four countless times, Turtwig. I spent some time exploring Spawn, and went to /warp EV training to get into my first Pokemon battle. After I won, I did /RTP to teleport to a random place in the world. I got some gravel and sand just to make sure that I could build with concrete, because that was going to be my main building block. I also collected some berries and apricorns, and found an Onyx in the wild. I really wanted one on my team, but he was way too high of a level to try to take on. But I found a low-level Machop in the wild, and it was the first Pokemon that I caught. After a little bit more exploring, Turtwig and I were ready to find a place to call home. We eventually teleported to a plains biome, so I leveled out a nice area and claimed it as my own. I spent day 2 gathering some dirt and terraforming the land around my claim. And that night, I spent some time chopping down trees. Day 3, I was ready to start planning out my build. I got my stuff organized, and established a nice place for my own little warp. If you're on the Sapphire world and you do /warp Corinthius, it will take you to my base and you're welcome to build right by me. Day 4, I went mining in some caves for coal and iron, and that night, I got into my first battle with my rival. For this video, my rival was my top tier patron, Alexi Bacon. He didn't know that I chose a grass type Pokemon, and just like any rival would, he chose fire type. I lost our first battle terribly. I finished out the night of day 4, making a path from my warp to my base. The next day, I helped my rival find a nearby place to build his base. Then I went to /warp EV training to train up and hopefully get ready to beat him in our next battle. I spent a while there trying out all the different types of EV trainers, and on day 6 I finished up training and went to /warp Pokemart to buy some blocks to build with. After that I went to /warp crates and did /vote to earn my first crate key. You can vote every day for the server and get crate keys and redeem them for cool prizes. For my first crate, I won some rare candies that you can use to level up your Pokemon. Then I spent that night catching Pokemon around my base. I wanted to build my whole base out of concrete, so I spent all of day 7 crafting concrete powder and turning it into concrete. I also bought a healing station off of Alexi. On day 8, I found out that you can catch starter Pokemon in the wild. I found a wild Chikorita right near my base, but I accidentally killed it. I was kinda sad, but with that battle, my Turtwig evolved into a Grottle. And luckily, I found another Chikorita right nearby that I could catch. And after making some more concrete, I began working on the foundation for my base. While I was hard at work laying down that foundation, I realized that I misplaced my healing station and it was going to be inside of the wall. Most of the machines that you build you can just mine and pick it up, but I heard if you mine a healing station it will break, so I just built around it for now. And at the end of day 8 I was getting close to having an outline for my base. I also turned my warp platform into a Pokeball. Day 9 I logged back into the server and found my rival had made a lot of progress on his base. I'd caught a good amount of Pokemon at this point, so I went to the Pokemon Center to pick out the best team that I could. Then I made some more concrete and finished the outline of my base. For day 10, I spent filling in the floor when Alexi stopped by and wanted another battle. While I was spending these days building, he was busy leveling up his team. So when we started the battle, I saw that he got his Litten to become a level 30 Torracat, which he then used to sweep my whole team. By day 11, my base started to look like an actual structure. I got distracted by a scientist in the field. Turns out NPC trainers will also spawn in the wild, but he was a little too high of a level for me. After putting up a good fight, I started working on the entrance to my Pokélab, but then I beat the scientist's coworker in a battle and got some sweet cash. On day 13, I went mining, and when I got back to my base, there were some other people there exploring the area. After talking to them for a little bit, I went to go redeem some vote keys and won some diamonds and a random Pokemon, which turned out to be a Nidorina. When I got back home, I had another person wanting to build her base right near me. Then I finished that day making some white concrete. On day 14, I caught a level 47 Arbok, and then I found out why so many people were showing up. An admin had officially got my warp set up. If you type /warps in the chat, my base will be one of the places that you can teleport to. And soon enough, a bunch of you guys started warping to my base and setting up shop. This once empty field began turning into a village. I spent the rest of day 14 working on my base. Day 15, I finished up the floor and began building up the walls. I also got a nice little storage area set up. Day 16, I installed windows and had the first floor of my lab just about built. and that night a vortex spawned right outside my base. So I healed up my Pokemon and jumped through. I spent the beginning of day 17 exploring that strange dimension, picking up a bunch of plants, and then I warped home. I got my team destroyed by a green Geodude and caught a Magikarp, which I used some rare candies to evolve because I didn't feel like training it up. And while I was evolving, my rival showed up to show me that he evolved his Pikachu. That night, I found out that you can ride certain Pokemon, so I found a nice little swamp and rode around on my Gyarados. On day 18, I logged on to find several people wanting to battle me, and I found out that when you're battling other people, you can change all your Pokemon to level 100 to make it fair. That was the only way I managed to win some of the battles. After all that battling, I got some more loot from the vote crates, including a random shiny and 2,500 Pokecoins, which I could use at the Pokemart. Day 19, I crafted my first Pokeball, hammer, and anvil. While I was learning how to use the hammer, I got a random letter out of nowhere that informed me that I lost the game. I was a little confused, but I just kept hammering a bunch of aluminum. Then I made myself my own PC, and because I bought a fossil off of someone that day, I began making a fossil machine so I could resurrect this Pokemon. And on day 20, I finished my fossil machine and built a fossil cleaner. Once my fossil was clean and shiny, I put it into the fossil machine and began catching some Pokemon while I waited for the machine to work. I also crafted another healing station to put one where it was supposed to go. I spent day 21 getting resources and battling other trainers. I lost another battle against Alexi, but I did win against another fan. Day 22 was dark and stormy, and some other players pointed out that a legendary spawned right near my base. They managed to trap it for me, but it was level 70. I had no chance to catch it, but luckily someone sold me a Master Ball, and I was able to catch a Thundurus. The next 2 days I've spent battling some of you, and let's just say I have some room for improvement. Day 25, I worked on adding a second floor to my base with a nice spiral staircase. Now I could finally stay dry when it rained. Next, I headed over to the Pokemon Center and traded a Ghastly for a shiny Kadabra. Trading is the only way to evolve a Kadabra, so by the end of the trade, I had a shiny Alakazam. Day 26, I won a Master Ball and some more money. Then I used Slash Gyms to get to the Rock type gym. Once I got into battle, I found out that all of his Pokemon were level 70. I didn't stand a chance. Turns out the gym leader's Pokemon will match whatever level your highest Pokemon is. And since I had a level 70 Thundurus, all of his Pokemon were level 70. So I went back home, and the next day I started adding some lights around my base. While I was going to my spot where I turn all my powder into concrete, I came across this giant Pokemon. I thought it was a boss, but it turned out to be just a giant Araquanid, which once I caught, I could ride on the water. Day 28 and 29, I worked on the second floor of my base and battled more of you guys. After some fun battles, one trainer started flexing with his shiny Rayquaza. On day 30, I learned how to build different types of Pokeballs and how to plant apricorns. And thanks to Thundurus, I managed to defeat a level 75 Pokemon boss. Day 31 and 32, I made some more progress on my base and used /RTP to travel around the world and catch Pokemon. Amongst my travels, I ran into a Mega Alakazam boss that was level 110. Let's just say things did not go too well for me. Day 33, I caught a Staravia who I wanted on my official team, and after days of searching, I finally caught myself an Onix. Day 34, I enclosed the second floor of my base, hung out with some fellow trainers for a while, and then got to work on the third level of my base. By day 35, I had made a lot of progress on my Pokélab. Day 36, I battled another scientist and my Grottle evolved into a Torterra. I battled another trainer with my new Torterra on the balcony of my Pokélab, and he still managed to beat me, but I was cheered up when I won 20,000 Pokecoins from the vote crate. I also won a shiny Monferno, another Pokemon that I wanted on my team. The next day I added windows to the third story, and that last battle gave me the idea to turn my balcony into a small battle arena, and more rooms meant that I had to add more lights around my base. Day 38, I got a Charmander in a trade with another trainer and spent the rest of that day grinding to get more concrete. Day 39, I added a red roof to the top of my lab and found out that you can take pictures of Pokemon and you can print them and put them up on your wall. Day 40 was a big day. I added a Pokeball tower to my lab, and with that, I was just about done with the exterior of my build. I was super happy with how it turned out, but I still needed to do the interior. On the morning of day 41, I battled some more of my fans and bought a Crystal onyx off of one of them. After spending a ton of tries, I also finally caught a wild Scorbunny. So that night, I had to spend it crafting up some more Pokeballs. On day 42, I won a Pokekey, which won me 100 tokens that I could use in /PokeBuilder to customize my Pokemon. I also won some End Crystals, which I could use to redeem for a chance to fight the famous legendary bird Pokemon, but I didn't have much luck. I spent that night and all of day 43 training up my Staravia in hopes that I could fly on a Staraptor. On day 44, I logged in just to find a group of people hanging out in my base. After chatting with them for a little bit, I continued to level up my Pokemon when I came across a level 40 Crystal Onix in the wild. After catching it, I teleported into the jungle, and through the trees, I saw a flying Tropius. While running over to catch it, I came across a wild Incineroar, but my Thundurus hit it a little bit too hard and killed it. I was a little sad, but I managed to nimbly parkour up the trees and catch the Tropius. And luckily, while climbing back down, I ran into a Litten, which I caught with ease. Day 45, I made it back home and got to fly on the server for the very first time. This also gave me a great view of my base. Later that day, I realized when you're in your inventory, clicking on the modded items on the right would show you the recipes for how to craft them. That night, I caught a bunch of new Pokemon in the desert biome. Day 46, I bought a mending book, finally evolved my Staravia into a Staraptor, and had some fun flying around. Then, things on the server started getting a little spooky. I was chased around my base by a bunch of floating objects. I received another random letter, and when I turned around, my own head was floating right in front of me. I did the only thing a person could do. I told them to subscribe. The next day, I was healing my Pokemon, turned around, and there were 4 floating observers following me. I hid in my storage area, and they all got closer and closer. I called out my Torterra to scare them off, and this creepy guy came out of nowhere as well. I ran for my life and decided to catch some wild Pokemon far away from my base. On day 48, I ran into my rival at spawn, and he showed me his level 100 Greninja. That night, we battled at my Pokélab, and turns out all of his Pokemon were at level 100. After he wiped the floor with me, he showed me how he leveled up so fast. /UM will bring you to the universal market where people can buy and sell whatever they want to, including rare candies that can level up your Pokemon. So the next day I decided to buy some rare candies and I tried to craft some, but turns out you can only buy them or win them. To save some money, I decided to start training up my Pokemon naturally and started saving up some rare candies for when they are higher levels and harder to level up. I spent the next few days getting Torterra up to level 50. I also used the global trading system, which is /GTS, to buy my favorite Pokemon, a Ralts. I bought my Ralts at level 1, so the next day I started training it up until I got invited to try out a parkour map. And that's another thing I'm not good at. To add insult to injury, the guy who built the parkour map also beat me in a battle. Then I went back to training up my Pokemon and tried to catch a Skarmory. I couldn't quite reach it, so I flew up on my Staraptor and proceeded to throw the Staraptor I was riding at the Skarmory, which made me fall to the ground and die. Luckily, the focus is on your Pokemon's health and not your own, so you don't really lose anything when you die. Day 55, I teleported to a swamp biome and caught some pretty interesting Pokemon there. What I love about Pokemon is that you can catch different types of Pokemon in different biomes, so the game encourages you to explore the world and different biomes that you might not normally go to when playing in normal Minecraft. The jungle is filled with different types of Pokemon, so I went back to capture the ones I missed with a little hope that I would run into another Incineroar. With no luck, on the night of day 57, I teleported to a savanna biome where I came across many high-level Pokemon. See those cute little birds in the trees? That's called a Volibee. While they look cute, they can be very high level and pack a punch, especially against Torterra because flying type is really good against grass type. From day 58 all the way to 65, I spent training up my Pokemon while trying to get all of them to level 40. While there, I caught a bunch more Pokemon and evolved my Ralts into a Curlia. And I guess the person I bought the Ralts from had a lot of them because my Ralts' name was Female 51. To change a Pokemon's name, all you have to do is click on your Pokemon, click Summary, click on the little R next to their name, and you can either rename it or reset their name. I learned that from some of my fans, who then wanted me to watch them as they battled each other. Since I liked training in the savanna biome so much, I decided to claim a little piece of land so I could teleport there whenever I wanted to. I built a little platform to put my things, and to make it easy to heal, I built another healing station to put on my new claim. While training, I managed to catch some rare Pokemon, including 2 Scythers and a Quilava. I feel like at this point I caught almost all of the fire starter Pokemon. Slowly but surely, each of my Pokemon began to reach level 40. I also sold a Master Ball on the universal market by doing /market sell and then putting the amount that I wanted. And that made me realize I should probably unload some of the loot that I found in the wild. And while I was organizing some of my stuff, another observer head snuck past me and scared me. Not long after that, my own head and a floating banner showed up. I don't know why, but they love coming to scare me whenever it's a dark and stormy night. By the night of day 65, both my Pokemon and I were weary from battling. Most of them were about level 40 or higher, so we went on home. Day 66, I was ready to get back to building. I spent that day clearing out a big area for a Pokemon arena. Day 67, I walled off my storage area and began turning my first floor into a lobby. I made some nice red furniture and upgraded my lights. I was going for a Pokemon Center feel to the lobby, so I added a counter around the healing station and moved my PC to where it normally goes in some Pokemon games. Next, I figured out how to build a giant TV, and I was getting pretty low on redstone and I could always use more glowstone. But I didn't want to spend any more money, so I went to the Speed Eevee trainer because when you beat the Morpeko in there, they drop both redstone and glowstone. The next day, I learned if you put certain terracotta and a button on the crafting table with a small TV, you get a computer, which would go perfectly at the front desk. Then I added some more furniture to the lobby. I really love all the new items you can build with in Pixelmon, and after adding some greenery, my lobby was starting to look complete. On day 70, one of the ghosts that like to haunt my base showed up, and it zoomed right by me and up the stairs. I found it bowing down to the banner that it gave me the other day, so I just went back to adding some more plants around the lobby. When the ghost came back downstairs, it gave me 2 more banners, so I just decided to put all the banners up in my Pokeball tower. Things got even weirder that night. These observers, accompanied by a dragon head, would not leave me alone. I thought that was some of the craziest things that I would see until a bed came flying into the lobby. Once they all left, I spent the next 2 days working on my battle arena. Day 73, I logged on and walked outside to find a giant statue of me that some of my fans had built. I was a little in need of money, so I put an extra Abra I caught up for sale on the global trading system. Then my rival came in and wanted me to heal up his Pokemon, and I said no, so he logged off to be funny. And I finished out that night adding 1 more table to the lobby. Since all my Pokemon were higher level now, and because I thought the gym leader only had like 1 or 2 Pokemon, on day 74 I went to try to go take him on again. Turns out he has more than 2 Pokemon. So I just went back to working on my battle arena. And that night, Alexi and I tested out my new arena, and I had yet to beat him in a battle. Day 75, I added another TV to the lobby and a custom Pokemon rug. Then with the rare candies I saved up and was able to buy by selling Pokemon, I was able to level up most of my Pokemon to level 100. But I ran out before Onyx could get to level 100. Day 76, a fan showed me what a Crystal Onyx looks like when it evolved, and then he proceeded to beat me in a battle. After that, I watched Alexi get beat by the Rock Gym Leader, which kind of made me a little nervous when it was my turn. I did a whole lot better, but I wasn't able to get the badge. Then, the guy who beat me in a battle earlier that day sold me a pretty good enchanted pickaxe. I had a mending book, but no anvil to put on my pickaxe. So, day 77, I went mining for some iron. And I was pretty deep in a cave, only kind of near my base, so I had no idea how more banner ghosts were able to find me. This time we were not in my base, so they could build. They started blocking me in with cobblestone. Imagine how terrifying it would be if this happened to you in real life. I went full dream on them and started mining away while putting cobblestone behind me. I circled around back into the cave and blocked in the ghosts the same way that they blocked me in. And before they knew what was happening, I teleported back into my base. And as the sun began to rise on day 78, the ghosts found me at my base and we started having a Pokeball fight in my storage room. Quick tip, if you use /kits, you can redeem free Pokeballs every 12 hours. I spent the rest of that day collecting leaves to put bushes all the way around my battle arena. Day 79, I filled in the outside of the arena with light gray concrete, built some bleachers for people to sit while they watch the battles take place, and added some color to this Pokeball. Then on day 80, I started replacing the dirt with white concrete and used that dirt to terraform the ground around the arena. And just in case it rains during a battle, I thought I'd add a little overhang to keep the viewers dry. Day 81, I got to test out the finished battle arena with some of my fans, and it seemed the more I battled, the more people showed up. The morning of day 82, I finished up battling, and while others battled, I decided to finish up the overhang. It was a nice dry little place to sit and watch people battle until I got distracted by a butterfly. The next day, I crafted the cutest thing ever, Pokeball mugs. I made like 5 more of these to put on all the tables, and it made me curious what other things I could build. These fossil displays were the first interactive item that I crafted. I also made this cute little lawnmower and a white picket fence, which I used to replace the bushes at the entrance of my base. The fence gave me the idea to put this sign outside my base, and since the first floor looked like a Poke Center, I put a Poke Center sign above the front door. Day 84, I crafted a bike, and I thought it'd be for display like the lawnmower, but you can actually ride it. And look how cool the animation is for it. You even pedal when you're riding it. I also made a ranch machine, which will have whatever Pokemon you want to roam around a certain group of blocks whenever you're on the server. On day 85, I lost the gym again and started building a Pokemon Pokemon trade machine to go on the second floor where my lab would be. Day 86 was another fun day with you guys on the battle arena. And day 87, after losing again to the gym leader, I decided to take a different strategy and go with mostly grass and water type Pokemon because they are both good against rock type. And since the gym leader's Pokemon will all be the same level as my highest level Pokemon, I decided to train up all the Pokemon to about the same level for the best chance to win. Day 88, I found out my new team was not ready for Kabutops' Stone Edge. Right after the battle, I teleported to a modern house for sale, and it might just be for sale when this video comes out if anyone wants it. Day 89, I built 2 cool vats connected with tubes and a computer. I was going for a Mewtwo type lab here, and then I got together a new team to go against the gym. On day 90, I thought it was pretty funny that I won an experience share from the vote crate after mostly training up all of my Pokemon already. While I was getting my last Pokemon of my new team to level 25 for the gym, I came across a rare Manectic boss. Upon defeating him, I got a Gracium Z I could give to my Torterra so it could use a Z move, and I was offered 3 choices for Mega Apparel. I chose the bracelet, as you may have noticed from the thumbnail, and that night I continued adding some things to my lab. I also put this cool box in the storage room. Check this out. And I spruced up the front lawn as well as putting down some banners to hide my storage area. The next day, I added an office area to my lab, but it still felt like something was missing. So I added a failed experiment to the middle of the room and bought some fossils for the display case. I absolutely love having money in Minecraft, and look how good that looks. With a Poke Center on the first floor and a lab on the second floor, I thought it'd be a good idea to make the third floor a place for the researchers to stay. And on day 93, my newest team lost against the gym, so I went back to decorating. I put an enchantment table in my base, redecorated the bed area, and began adding a kitchen. Day 94, I added some more mugs, some chairs, a washing machine, and a bathroom. Then I spent all of day 95 building this cool clone machine. Day 96, I took a little break from everything to go catch some more Pokemon. With just a few days left, I got to show off my new Mega Evolution bracelet to my rival. I bought some Max Survives to hopefully help me beat the gym, as well as some rare candies to give my Onix to level 100 and accomplish my goal of getting my whole team to level 100. There was just a few days left, and I felt as ready as I could be to defeat my rival in a Pokemon battle. It was now or never. I brought out my Crystal Onix, and thanks to his sturdy ability, I was able to use Stealth Rock before Alexi's Cobalion took out my Onix. That's a move that would hurt his team for the rest of the battle. Then my Infernape took revenge with a single hit. My Gyarados took out his Virizion, but lost to his Greninja, which I easily took out with my Torterra, and then it was a battle between our starters. Fire normally has an advantage over grass, but he didn't know that my Torterra knew Earthquake, which is a really good move against fire types. I took out his Incineroar with one hit, and he sent out his Mew, who took out my Torterra and my Infernape pretty easily, so I decided to fight his Psychic Pokemon with one of my own. My Gardevoir put Mew to sleep and used Dream Eater until Mew fainted, and with just 2 Pokemon left, I had finally defeated my rival and accomplished another one of my goals. Day 98, after battling a few more of my fans, I felt as ready as I could be to defeat the gym. All my Pokemon were level 100, and I had 2 Max Revives to use during the battle. And after one of the longest battles I had on the server, I lost. Let me know down in the comments if you're able to defeat the Rock Gym. It is definitely a big accomplishment that I hope to do someday. I spent day 99 exploring the world, and I actually happened to come across the parkour map that I tried before. I'm still not good at parkour, and I finally made it to day 100. I spent that day looking at how far I've come. I got my team to level 100, defeated my rival in a Pokemon battle, and built my dream Pokélab. There's a nice Poke Center lobby for people who want to hang out, a little storage area with room to grow, and a cool box, a high-tech laboratory where I could make my own Mewtwo and resurrect ancient Pokemon, as well as a nice little place for me and some other researchers to stay and practice battling. And lastly, a nice little Pokeball tower for my ghost friends to stay in, and it's missing a block. Remember to join the Sapphire World and go to /warp_Corinthians to check out my builds in person. And of course, any of you are welcome to build near me if you want. Also, check out the server's black market and be on the lookout for their special events. Day 100 wasn't over quite yet, so I headed over to the arena and invited anyone who wanted to come to battle me. After having some fun with some of you guys, I sat on my roof and watched the sunset, having played 100 days in Pixelmon. I want to give a special thanks to Pixelmon Realms for helping me make this video, Luke TheNotable for inspiring the 100 days trend, my patrons for your continued support, and of course you for watching.